Hi, I thought I'd just do a little comparison between a new Chromebook and a reasonably good new Chromebook. In fact, a very good new Chromebook. This is a HP X360 14. This has just come out this year, 2019. And if we look at COG, you can see that this is sporting an i3 8130U CPU at 2.2 GHz, and I think this turbos to 3.4. And you'll find that this has 8 GB of RAM, 7.86 gig usable, because some of it's being used by the GPU. A little bit of a comparison to, this is my 2013 Pixel, which I've had for many years now, 5 years is it? And this is sporting an i5 3427U. Despite the fact that it's an i5, it's only a dual-core processor, but it's got hyper-threading. And this one is now running Cloudready, and we're on version 74 of Cloudready, because this stopped getting Chrome OS updates on something like version 69, I think. Compared to the i3 HP X360 14, it's only got 4 gig of RAM, 3.787 gig usable, the rest again being used by the GPU. So this device, new, cost a little bit more than £1,000, and this one, brand new, cost me just under £500, about 490 something on the HP weekend special offer, so it's half the price, at least half the price. And if we look at some benchmarks, so this is the X360, we've got an Octane score of 33,990. If I did this in guest mode, you get something like 34,000. It's running some apps. And speedometer, more modern benchmark, 93.8. Whereas if I go over to the Pixel, we get 20,557, which is fairly consistent with what I've been getting on the Pixel for some time now. And speedometer gives you 53.3. So for its age, it's really good. It still feels like a fast Chromebook to use, the Pixel 2013 on Cloudready. Certainly compared to the cheap Chromebooks out there, it's still a speedy device, but it feels noticeably slower to use than the new X360. Both of these devices support Linux apps. So on my X360, I've set up some Linux apps. I've got a folder of Linux apps here. So we've got things like VLC Media Player on there. I've got PuTTY, GIMP. I've got LibreOffice on there. So useful stuff. One of the issues with version 73, which is what this is on the stable channel, is that it doesn't pass through audio from Linux apps at the moment. So while VLC Media Player works, you don't get any audio. Whereas on here, if I haven't got so many Linux apps installed on here because it doesn't have that much local storage. So if I fire up VLC, it just looks like VLC on anything else, and it will work fine. You will get audio on there, whereas if I fire up VLC on here, you won't get any audio. Okay, but that's fixed in, or that at least that feature is coming in 74, so this will get it on the next revision, I'm sure. So Linux apps work really nicely on both machines. The issue with the Pixel is that you've only got 32 gig of internal storage, so if you started installing lots of Linux apps, you would be out of space relatively quickly. The other big difference is the fact that the X360 supports Android apps. So we've got the Play Store here, and this is on a work account, so this is the work Play Store rather than the entire Play Store. But it works perfectly well, and I've got Jamboard running here, some Jamboards that I've created in the past and I use, and it works really good. And touchscreen is pretty good as well, whereas you don't get that on the the Pixel, not the Pixel 2013. Pixel 2015 supports Android apps, but no version of Cloudready supports Android apps or ever will, because that's not an open source thing. It's a closed source project. But in terms of the performance, the Pixel is not on par with the new computer. This is an i3. It's very quick compared to any other Chromebook that I've used. Its Octane and benchmark scores are better than the Pixel Book, which is not quite twice the price. That's the i5 Pixel Book. I've seen the benchmarks of the i5 Pixel Book, and it doesn't match this device. So I'm being pretty impressed with this. It does flip around all the way as well into a tablet mode, whereas my old Pixel doesn't do that. That's as far as it goes, whereas this will go all the way back and all the way around and turn into a tablet if I wanted it to. The other big difference, which I like on here, is the battery life. At the moment it reckons I've got about 9 hours left, whereas I've had to have this unplugged into the charger. If I take that out, it's not fully charged, but it's calculating. It's got 63% charge, and that equates to 1 hour and 1 minute. So there's no comparison in terms of the battery life. It's been a long time since I've been able to take my Pixel out and about with me, because the battery just simply isn't up to it. It never really was up to it. The most you ever got was about 4 hours out of it, I would say. Whereas this one, depending on your usage, you probably get up to 9-10 hours of continuous use. Both of them have got backlit keyboards. So the X360 has a nice backlit keyboard, which turns itself off if you stop using the keyboard, which is quite a nice feature automatically. Whereas the old Pixel, it's either on or off. So my old Chromebook, my new Chromebook, half the price, almost twice the power, and considerably more features in the sense that it runs all the Android apps, as well as running Linux apps and running all the web-based stuff as well. So it's a really versatile platform, and you can really use it for anything now that you've got those three ecosystems supported on one platform, running pretty harmoniously next to each other. Okay, hope that was interesting.